own security. There's a lot at stake here. Katya Adler, BBC News, Nuuk.
Alice Rogoff joins me now. She's the founder and CEO of Arctic Today, a news platform focused on the region. Alice, what do we need to understand about President Trump saying that he needs to acquire or own Greenland?
Well, that's a good question because many of us are scratching our heads as well. We can see that we need to have a satisfactorily long-term, reliable presence for many security reasons in Greenland. Beyond that, it's not clear.
Yeah, we know that America already has a military base on Greenland. We saw Katya just talking about it just then, and the various options that are on the table. What does this mean for the people of Greenland, though? It's a relatively small population, and what will they be looking to do?
At the moment, what they're looking to do is become an independent nation in the right time and in the right way. You know, they've been under a home rule agreement with Denmark that began with their own parliament in 1979. So it's been a very gradual process to independence, and they're not quite ready to do it yet. So whatever happens in these negotiations this week, we all have to remember that it's a trilateral negotiation, and there are many complex, nuanced issues between Greenland and Denmark that don't affect us directly, us in the U.S., that is.
Yeah, and what should we understand then, or what is a misconception about Greenland that we might not be aware of when it comes to how autonomous it really is at the moment?
Well, it's both more autonomous and less autonomous, depending on the subject. For example, there are shipping routes in and out of Greenland, but they all go through Iceland. And that's because the government decided that that was the most efficient way to have maritime shipping. You could argue that that doesn't make geographical sense. On the other hand, you can look at the way mining claims are being adjudicated, because China, as we all know, had a series of investors in a claim that turned out to be at a site that contained uranium. So there's litigation ongoing. You know, it's like anything in the world. The more you look into it, the more complicated it gets. However, it's a perfect case for good and sensitive diplomacy. If the U.S. decides to approach this with an eye toward success without exercising its might, it can get there. It just takes patience and listening.
All right, we'll see if President Trump exhibits either of those two qualities when it comes to Greenland. Alice, thanks very much for your thoughts. Alice Rogoff, founder and CEO of Arctic Today. That's a news platform focused on the region.